the drinks are on my mind. The decision sets in. One that will churn your skin. The love is right. Let them have their time. And I have this notion. Let's keep these wheels in motion. In motion.
Good evening, race fans. BFeR here, Black Flag Racing TV, of course, and it is the Black Flag Open GR3 season number 3, round number 1 at Grand Valley Highway, and this is following on from an awesome race here on Monday in the GR4. And as you know, if you raced in that and you're racing in this and you use the same car, there is a separate on the side manufacturers competition with a cash prize. Not going to tell you what it is yet, will be revealed later. So you've got to race in both and you've got to be present for both. In the room this evening we had a very special guest. Welcome back, Yellow Sausages, after a really long rehabilitation. TJ's just arrived at Stormfly's router room. I'm trying to get him disconnected before the race starts. We're going to reset the lobby in about a minute's time, ready for qualifying. But it's a 60-minute race as standard. Random weather, balance of power is on, balance of performance, whatever you want to call it. Times 3 on time, tyres and fuel. 2 compounds required. Any 2, of course, you can use whatever you like, whether it be soft or medium or hard. It doesn't matter as long as you use 2 different compounds, and I will be watching. So we're going to reset the track ready for quali in a minute. I think we've got 13 runners tonight. We've got Yellow Sausages and we've got WSR has decided to join us. Hopefully he hangs around for the whole race. He does pop in every now and again on random occasions and race with us. He's never really officially joined us. I don't know why. It's not like I've messaged him enough times offering him the opportunity. Come and, WSR, seriously, come and fucking join us on a permanent basis and race with us on a regular basis, and then we won't have to keep adding you in and out all the time. But as there's space, we're happy for you to crack on. Wendigo had a great race on Monday, the GR4. Just couldn't overcome Stormfly, and of course Slipstream was not racing this evening. Okay, so I'm going to get this reset ready for quali. Back in a sec. So we're going to get quali underway. I'll let them all know it's going to be underway soon. Quality starting. It's not easy to talk and host at the same time, as you probably know from my my gauntlet experience. Gauntlet experience. Just waiting for everybody. Make sure they're all checked in, of course. It would be pretty rubbish if we missed anybody out. Just waiting for Monkey Man Macho to tick that button. Ticky, 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 monkey. So who we got? We've got Wendigo, Stormfly, Wiggy, Arminis, PM10, Avalon, Wazza, Yellow Sausages, Fubar, Phalantis. Monkey Man's now checked in. Let's get cracking with 10 minutes of qualifying here.
What time you guys at? No, bye.
Apologies for that, Mrs. shutting up the stairs, and you could all hear that. Right, let's get cracking with some qualifying here, and we'll see who comes out on top here in the GR3. It was really good in the GR4, so we'll see what sort of performance we get this time out. So everyone get cracking straight on the track. We'll have a look at who's driving what very shortly. I want to get rid of that. It looks much better, just like this. So, Chris, Yellow Sausages, he is in the GR Supra, and looking good in that car. That's a really good livery. I did that from ages ago. Wazza's gone for, I think, isn't that Mercedes-Benz? Yeah, he's gone for the AMG Mercedes. Good, solid quality car there. Wiggy's in the BMW, he's in that Manufacturers Championship. Better car at GR3 than it is at GR4. What sort of performance can he get sorted? Stormfly running. He's gone for the Alpha. He did use 4C in GR4. Good win from him last time out. One stop that. One stop iron form is unlikely in that car. You look at 8 to 10 laps with the half tank of fuel that they start on. It would be probably about 1 minute 40, high 146, low 47 as your qualifying lap. There is Arminis. He is in the I think it's the yes, because I'm hosting, mate, that's why. Arminis is in the McLaren. Stormfly is, of course, in the Alpha. Paz Kozas is joining us this evening. I think he's gone for the 911. He has indeed gone for the Porsche 911. Good, solid driver, Paz Kozas. Expect to see him there or thereabouts outside that top 3. Monkey Man Macho, he's in the Jaguar. Used that also in GR4. There's Paul PM10 Racing. He's opted for an odd choice, actually. I didn't expect him to go for the Aston Martin, but he has done. And we'll see what sort of pace he can get out. But he's certainly tested all the GR3 cars, so he knows. Jay, we do have room for one more. Who's looking to jump in? I take it you're not working. If you're not working, then jump in, mate. There is room for one more, but you've missed qualifying. Yeah, Monkey Man Macho and Ricardo's. Right, so hot lap ensues. We'll see who gets themselves on pole. It's going to be difficult to look past Stormfly. He was pretty darn quick on Monday in GR4. Wiggy, we know he's always got pace. Wendigo, very, very quick. GR3 specialist as well. And that's Wiggy taking a really interesting line through there. Removing all the brake markers so nobody knows where their brake point is. Getting a little bit squirrely was all right going through there. Did you hear me, Jay? The old-fashioned way, because I don't think he heard me. Hold on, I'll call him. Oh, that's the one I want. That one there. This hosting log. alongside broadcasting. It's a pain in the arse. I don't know who Business Duck is, but he's I don't know who he is. So, Yellow Sausages at the moment, I thought he was on pole, he's not. So, pole at the moment is Wendigo, 147.7 from him. Arminis with a 148.1. Briefly joined him on that front row till Stormfly came in with a 147.2. We know there's a high 46 in this lap. It's already been done. Paz Kozas is second on the grid at the moment at 147.6. It's a really solid time in that 911. Wendigo is currently sitting in third. Knudsen is joining us lastminute.com. Looking forward to that. He needs to get in. Knudsen, listen buddy, you need to jump in sooner. If you want to race, listen, go on to some League Pro, man. There's loads of stuff to check in there. Yeah, you seem to keep missing out on the qualifying sessions. Monkey Man Macho puts himself on the second row, currently ahead of Wendigo. Look, we know Paz Kozas, Monkey Man, Macho Man, Wendigo, Arminis, all very, very solid in the GR3. He has now made it in, Jay. So he'll be racing with us, of course. Unfortunately for the back of the grid. Would have been good to see Knudsen out front with at the business end. Paz Kozas, Monkey Man, Wendigo, Arminis, big Lithuanian contingent, all sitting in the top 5. How was my Easter? It's alright. Stupid question. Chocolate egg weekend was alright. What do you want? A life story. The kid takes some chocolate and then nothing. We've literally had conversations since then and during then as well. Fubar. Ricardo's actually up there as well now. So, in terms of Lithuanian contingent, it's Wendigo just getting split there by Star Group up onto row 2. Paz Kozas, Monkey Man, Macho, Arminis, Fubar jumping between Arminis and Ricardo, starting to split them up. Avalon back in 9th, still a little bit ring rusty. Where is Easter about? What's that supposed to mean? Talk English, you freaking idiot. There's Wazza in the Harrods liveried AMG. Hardwire running currently 11th, so he's on row 6. Yellow Sausages alongside him on row 6. He's obviously well off the pace at the moment. Lots of work for him to do. So, how long have we got left? Not long left now of qualifying. Time for a couple more hot laps for everyone. Stormfly leads the way. He is currently on pole, just 2/10 quicker than Monkey Man Macho. No one broken that 147 barrier just yet. 47.2, fastest lap thus far. I don't know, why are you waffling rubbish, DJ? I don't know. You're trying to get me to say something clearly, and just spit out. You're not a woman. Wendigo heads up row 2 with Wiggy 4 company. Paz Kozas and Arminis on row 3. Row 4 is Fubar with Ricardus. Behind him, PM10 Racing. If there was ever going to be an opportunity to win a championship, it's got to be week 1. Kevin's not here, and you've got to kind of get your points on early, especially if you want to beat the 2-time GR3 champion, who is not with us today. Orvar joined us out of the blue. He is on row 6 with Hardwire, and Yellow Sausages in the rear of the pack. He's got a lot of work to do to catch up. And to be fair, I was going quicker than that in the Lamborghini. So, and there we go. And then he chucks in a 1:52.7, which is about 8 seconds quicker than I did in the Lambo earlier. Stormfly still on pole, and he has now gone sub 1:47. We knew he had the time in it. It's still, it's not far off actually the practice time. It's about 500 slower than the quickest time seen in practice thus far. Last lap for most, I would imagine. Maybe 2, if it depends how far around you are, I suppose. But this is how it looks. Stormfly in the lead on pole position. He's got Monkey Man Macho, his closest rival. He's got sub 47 now as well. Looking pretty darn racy. Wendigo, he's always quick. Looking quick again today. Not gone sub 47 yet, but really, really close. Paz Kozas 47 too. He's joining Wendigo on that second row. Star Group down to row 3, and he's got Arminis for company. 47.6 for Arminis, 47.6 for Wiggy. Just 1.5 hundredths of a second difference between them. PM10 Racing, 47.8 is the best he's got out of that car thus far. Now you would imagine that this Aston Martin, he could get a little bit more pace out of it, or I don't know, maybe he's sandbagging on purpose. Fubar looking pretty racy behind him in a minute. He's looking, I think he's certainly good for a top 5 in that Lamborghini. Orvar 148.0, and we're into the solid 48 now. Avalon's he's not been able to get those kind of representative times he usually gets. He's 1.7 seconds off the pace of the leaders at the moment. Ricardus with a 148.6, that puts him on row 6 with Hardwire. Row and at the back of the pack at the minute is Yellow Sausage 152.0. But you know, he can save a bit of fuel, he can save tyres, it might actually play into his hands. And of course he's obviously very consistent. So there we go, it looks like everyone pretty much done. Stormfly still on a hot lap. He is currently on pole, looking to improve on that just in case anybody else is going quick. Although there's a car right his way there on the go slow, that's going to slow him right down and probably affect that pace somewhat. So there we have it. Don't think there's going to be many more changes to the lineup now. Everyone's just going to come home and then we're going to get cracking with the race. Newton will be joining us. He will actually obviously have to start from the back of the grid due to the fact that everyone else is qualified. But you know, it is what it is. You turn up late, you get the back of the grid. No fun rolls for you today. This is a serious shizzle. Again, do you know what? I think that's the thing. I think what the update has done is it's mixed it up in terms of cars. So it's not just a 9/11 showdown anymore. That, you know, people are prepared to give other cars a crack because they're a lot closer in terms of performance, and because the Porsche isn't quite as dominant. It's much better. It's back to the old GR3 kind of thing. GR3 was getting really boring when it was essentially just the Porsche Cup. You know, there's nothing wrong with a Porsche Cup, but when it's just Porsches, you don't want a GR3 championship with just Porsches. It just doesn't work that well. Stormflyer, Monkey Man Macho, that's your front row. Wendigo, Pez Kozas, Wiggy, Arminis, PM10 Racing, Fubar, Wazza, Ricardus, Avalon, Hardwire, and Chris Yellow Sausages. Check Discord, don't think he is though. What am I looking at? Does he think there's going to be an opportunity to be reverse grid? Not going to happen today, Knudsen, my friend. This is a one-off 60-minute race. If you missed the qualifying, you start from the back, simple as. It's a 10-week, 60-minute series. If you spend more time reading Discord, buddy, then you don't. Right, okay. So quali is done. Done. This is the quali lineup. It's a Stormflyer from Monkey Man Macho. Wendigo from Paz Kozas, they're on row 2. Hurricane and 911. Wiggy in the M6. Arminis in that 650S McLaren. PM10 Racing in the V12 Aston Martin. Fubar rounds out the top 8 in the Hurricane. We'll just screenshot that. Orvar in the Mercedes AMG in 9th. He's joined on row 5 by Ricardus in that GTR Nismo. Row 6 is Avalon in the 911. with hardwiring that 458 Italia, and bringing up the rear is Yellow Sausages in the GR Supra Racing concept. How's about that then? That wasn't a bad start, was it? There we go. Trying to fix this. It's not working. Not working at all. There we go. No, it's not right. Doesn't matter anyway. Anyway, moving swiftly on. Right. Everyone needs to get their tyres sorted. I did try and fix this kind of lobby screen, so we had a different one after qualifying. It's a real pain in the arse, but I couldn't, so I didn't. Everyone is ticked in, just waiting for Newton to get his car sorted. How long is he going to be? He's even not picked the car yet. One second. Okay, seems to be a problem with Newton ticking in. Wonder what that problem is. Alright. Right, I will. Let me type this. Give me a sec. Give me a sec. Right, bit of a pain in the arse. Got to reset by host. Right, edit event settings. Talk amongst yourselves while I sort this out. Set my host, there we go, change event settings. Apologies for this. Bit of a pain in the arse. Well, I can't be doing with this fucking hosting and broadcast at the same time. It's too fucking difficult. So anyway, I think we'll discuss who's going to be hosting the stuff going forward. Can't do both. It's far too complicated to do three things: broadcast and speak and control the lobby. Just waiting for everyone to tick in so I can get this lobby set. Wendigo, Newton, Stormfly, Star Group, Arminus, PM10, Avalon's in, Orvar's in. I need to find my phone really because I'm lucky I saved it really, wasn't it? Right. Is everyone right? I'm just going to get this lobby set. Talk amongst yourselves while I sort this out. It's not that one. Starting grid, right. So, let me find the screenshot. So you should be able to just reset and still have it there to do. Right, there we go, here's what it is. Right, let's start from the back, shall we? Just grid. So Newton starting from the back. He'll be behind Yellow Sausages. He'll be starting ahead of him in 14th place. Someone's not ticked in, but we'll sort that out in a minute. Have a look. Back in a sec. Bloody pain in the arse doing a bloody set by host. Turn up on time, people. I'm going to start refusing entry to anyone that turns up late. Right. We're starting. Everyone's ticked in. Let's go. Some players still initialising. What the hell? Oh, for fuck's sake. Hold on. Fucking pain in the arse. See, when people come in and join and leave and all that shit, fucks up the lobby. And you can't start the fucking race. What a pain in the bloody arse. Right, back shortly while I sort this shit out. Do apologise to everyone out there watching. A bit of a pain. I don't know what's going on with the lobby. The problem is when people go in and out of a lobby, it tends to screw it up. What we need a way to lock a lobby. So once the race starts, it's done. You can't change it. I'm going to have to I should have saved the bloody settings as well. I didn't. Right, so you're going to have to hang on a bit while I get this done. Sorry, guys. Getting this new lobby done, guys. Apologies for the delay. It just takes a bit of time to get this sorted. Just want to make sure I've got them all right. I don't want to miss anything. Right. Here we go. New room is up-ish. Well, it's up now. On Discord. Oh, fuck's sake. Operating 2 keyboards and a lobby and a broadcast at the same time. Never ask me to multitask ever again. What a start to the GR3, eh? It's been an absolute farce. It's so good on Monday. We notice what happens when people come in late. So from now on, hard and fast rule. You're not signed in, you don't race. You're not in before the lobby starts, you don't race. I think that's got to be the fundamental rule from now on. Arrive at 1 minute past 1 minute past 8. Oh well, which happens. Unless of course you know, if you give some advance warning that you're going to be late and people are prepared to wait. I think that's the only way we do this. Who the fuck is Rubens? He's getting kicked out. I don't know who he is. Yeah, I'm just going to be brutal. I don't know who you are. You weren't fucking invited. Piss off. Simple pimples, guys. Simple pimples. Waiting for 2 more. I don't know who you are. You're not going to last very long. Bye. Wait for 2 more. 2 more. 2 more. Come on, come on, come on. Now wait for Chris and Wendigo. Chris is in, so 1 more we're waiting on. What is with these fucking idiots, man? Sorry, Mike, but you're not signed in, buddy. Nothing personal, mate. Right, I'm giving 30. I don't know who's missing, but I'm giving 30 seconds because it's fucking going on too long now. He's gonna get kicked out in a minute. Right, I'm gonna set the grid and then I'm gonna boot that idiot out. Right, I'm just gonna start setting the grid because I'm tired of waiting. Right, Stormfly on pole, Monkey Man Macho will be second. Where is he? There he is. Then we've got Wendigo, he's there. Then we've got Paz Kozas, is he not back yet? Paz Kozas is in, there we go. Then it's Star Groot and then Arminis. Star Groot, Arminis, followed by PM10, then Fubar, PM10, then Fubar, they're all here. And page 2 of the calling. Orvar, he's not back. Ricardus, where is he? There he is. Fubar, Ricardus, Avalon, Hardwire, Yellow Sausages, Boomshanker. Right, we're getting started finally. Apologies to anyone trying to watch. This is an absolute fucking nightmare to do. I'm not hosting and racing. I'm not hosting and broadcasting ever again. If there's no one to broadcast, if there's no one to host, then we don't broadcast. Simple as. It's got to be the way because this is a pain in the arse. Right, Boomshanker. We are finally getting this race underway. Finally getting this race underway. There we go, 5 lights, and we are racing. And apologies for the delay in getting this shit underway, but we are finally going. Let's have it. Stormfly out in the lead, as you would expect, being that he was on pole. Now, we know how quick Newton is. How quickly can he fight his way through the field? Can he fight his way through the field and put in some kind of challenge out in front? But as we start here, Stormfly already starting to pull away. Someone's been practicing. Tyres, let's have a look. Let's have a look at starting tyres for everyone. So, 2 compounds required, any 2 you like. Soft, medium, hard, whatever you like. But you have to use 2. Stormfly leads the way from Monkey Man Macho. Wendigo in 3rd, Paz Kozas in 4th, Wiggy in 5th with Arminis. They're back in 6th in that really, really cool 650S. Ricardus in the GTR, already under a bit of pressure from Fubar. And Fubar, Ricardus and PM10 all duking it out. But PM10 moving through past Fubar briefly, but Fubar retakes that position only for a brief moment. There we can see PM10 and Fubar just absolutely battling it out already here on lap number 1. And what's going on? I've got no. I can't mess with the camera thing's messed up. Right, so we're not doing this shit with people in that anymore because I've lost my keyboard controls. Apart from that, I've lost the camera controls. So Stormfly leads the way from Monkey Man Match. It also means I've lost the replay as well. Yeah, we've got no replay. Okay, Monkey Man Macho in 2nd. Wendigo running in 3rd. Paz Kozas in 4th. Stargroup in 5th. There's Arminis in 6th. 7th is Ricardus. PM10 Racing in 8th place. He did get ahead of Fubar, but Fubar coming back at him again. He's determined not to give this up. And at the moment, PM10, who would have been a good outside favourite for top finisher, bearing in mind he was 3rd, just by 1 point in season 2, you would have thought he would be further up the field. But at the moment, battling back in that midfield with Fubar and Ricardus. Up into 10th already is Knudsen. He's already battled his way through in that BMW. Ahead of Yellow Sausages. He's got himself up to 11th place. Not a bad start from him. I can only do controls with what's that. That's an absolute pain in the fucking arse. So Yellow Sausages, there he is in 11th place, ahead of Hardwire. Hardwire in 12th. Avalon, it looks like he's got that kind of holiday hangover. Obviously he was away when the update came in, so he's had no experience with the update. And the car, the 911, is a very different animal now than it was prior to the update. Drives in a different way. Does he still love the car as much? Is it time for Avalon maybe to embrace a new car? What if he's autistic? I'm only joking. So Stormflyer clearly got this track down. It helps. Racing in this GR3, it's going to help you if you're also in Monday's GR4, because the tracks are mirrored. So whatever races on Monday in the GR4 is the same on a Wednesday in the GR3. And we're doing that to because it's essentially a manufacturer's championship. So it's kind of like, F1 and F2, that kind of thing. But the points are kind of split between the two. But at the moment, on those soft compound tyres, Stormflyer building up a nice big juicy lead. Behind him, Monkey Man Macho, he's actually gone for a different approach this time. He's gone for the medium compound tyres to start. And what is it this evening? I think the problem is, because I do a lot of broadcasting for lots of different people, I've got a lot of people on my friends list, F122 and all these other kind of things. So when I'm host, I can't block the room to everybody. So a lot of people will be jumping in and out when I'm host, which is another reason why I should really be hosting. When Digo running in 3rd position, he's gone for the soft compound tyres. He really needs to close out 1.5 seconds to Monkey Man Macho as quickly as he possibly can. The reason being is that Monkey Man's on those medium tyres, and once he uses them, he doesn't have to use them again. He can finish this race on the softs. Pit window, I imagine, is going to be somewhere around lap 6 or lap 7. I thought it could go to sort of 8 or 9, but I'm reliably informed that that's because I'm slow and I don't burn a lot of fuel because I'm always going slowly, which is a very good point. Wiggy up to 4th, so really hot performance for him in that BMW thus far. Good finish for him actually on Monday in the GR4. Just sort of hung in there in that midfield and lucked out towards the end. Stormfly hoping, of course, not to get disconnection this evening. Paz Kozas, he's running there in 5th place. 1.7 behind Wiggy at the moment. He's got Arminis tucked nicely in behind him. That's the view from Arminis' car. Can he make the move on Paz Kozas, or is Paz Kozas able to keep him at bay? Bear in mind that Paz Kozas is running on the mediums as well as Arminis, so they're both going to be a similar pace in these early stages of this race. I apologise, I have to scroll through like that, and all the jumping in and out screwed up my controls. PMTM Racing, you can get catching on board with him. Yeah, that's good. No, I don't mind who hosts the honest. I mean, the only reason I did it is because there was no lobby up at like 7:30. And there was people itching to get in. We can sort something out. I think we need to allocate sort of, okay, this is your host for this day, and sort out what, at the beginning of the week, and just sort out who's the host. It's not like I don't mind hosting. The problem is that if I'm hosting and broadcasting and trying to record everything that's going on, it's all a bit of a it's a lot. It's too much going on in a very short space of time to try and keep control of it. That's the problem. Especially when there's an issue. If there wasn't an issue and we could have gone straight through, it wouldn't have been so bad. But as soon as there's a problem, it kind of throws everything up in the air. But there will be a hard and fast rule from today. I'm going to write it into the rules that if the race is to start at 8 o'clock, then and you're not in the lobby 10 minutes before, obviously a bit later if you're a reserve and you have no friends. That's one way of looking at it. Yeah, a hard and fast rule. If you're not in the lobby before the race starts at 8 o'clock, tough. We can't do it because the problem is that people coming in and out particularly if you're coming in to stay, it screws with the lobby. Because now, I mean, the problem I've got is that I don't have half of my keyboard controls are gone. It's like the old days, back before we had keyboard controls, like 2 weeks ago. Oh, fuck off, Mark. Right, Fubar running in 9th place. He is 3/10 back from PM7 Racing, who just cannot make any inroads. All on medium tyres though, these guys. So interesting to see what their pace is like later on. There's at the back there, or one of those further back there is Ricardus. He's running in 10th place on soft compound tyres. That's the view from in front of him. Behind, 3.7 seconds. You can hardly even see the cars behind him right now. There is Hardwire. He is running in 11th position. Really good camera shot, man. Really good. They've got, to be fair, one thing I will say about Grand Valley, some of the camera shots they've got programmed in are awesome. Avalon's got himself ahead of Yellow Sausages finally, but he is struggling, really struggling for pace at the moment. Now, we can posit what that is, whether that's to do with the car or to do with you know, that kind of holiday hangover. You know what it's like. You go on holiday and your mindset changes and your whole body relaxes and everything kind of feels and you act differently and everything's very different. And then you come back to reality, whether it be to work or to play or whatever, and things are slightly different and your mindset, it just takes a while to get to kind of switch yourself back on. It could be that. Or it could, to be fair, I think it's probably just getting used to the new kind of dynamics since the update. So Arminis again. Now he did this in the GR4 very, very early into the pits to change out those medium tyres, and it worked really, really well in the GR4 and gave him a good undercut. So he did race around at the back of the pack for some time, but it gave him a really, really good undercut and definitely earned him a few positions that he maybe ordinarily wouldn't have got. So good shout from him, and to get rid of those medium tyres and coming out on the softs, or is he going to run again on the mediums? Depending on the softs, how long the softs last. He's coming back out on the softs. So we're going to get a good indication actually as to how well the softs perform. We can have a look at Stormfly. We can see that pit window is going to be open for him very, very soon, and we've got this new boom, that little thing there, pit window open. I mean, to be fair, it's always open, but it's nice to let you know that people are going to start to come in. It's going to be a couple of laps here. He says 7 laps. I think, bearing in mind, he's already 6 seconds clear. Pace 47.3, which is not too shabby in all fairness. Monkey Man Macho 48.3. He's a second slower lap, but he is on the medium tyres. You've got to take that into account. Now, is the loss between the softs and the mediums just 1 second? Or is Monkey Man Macho incredibly fast? And when he goes onto those soft tyres, are we going to see a bit of a seat change in terms of race pace? At the moment, the front three, though, very, very spread out. Stormfly, 6 seconds clear. Monkey Man Macho. Monkey Macho Man. There he is. He is 5.8 seconds clear of Wendigo. Wendigo also on those soft compounds. He's fastest lap is a 47.9, but he's struggling a little bit with consistency, Wendigo, at the moment, which is unusual for him. Usually, he's that guy you can rely on to be putting in those nice, solid, consistent lap times. Running in 4th, 4 seconds back, and it's a little gaggle of cars there. We've got Wiggy, Paz Kozas and Knudsen. Knudsen already up to 6th place. Having a nice little battle there for 4th, 5th and 6th place. So really, really good battle between those three. Wiggy starting on the soft compound tyre. Paz Kozas starting on the medium. And Knudsen starting on the soft as well. So fuel, it's going to be a factor. It depends on how quickly you burn through it, I suppose. But as it stands, pit window is open and we'll start to see 1 or 2 jumping in. Down the order we go. Hardwire in that top 10. Avalon, is he starting to find a little bit of pace? Arminis, of course, is at the back, but that's because he's picked early. Avalon is starting to find better pace. He's getting quicker. Lap after lap, improvement. And that's as he gets used to the physics in this car. So 49.6 for him. Remember, he's on those medium compound tyres, so he's going to have the softs available. So in goes Monkey Man Macho, who started on the mediums. He doesn't have to run them again now. Wendigo in, Paz Kozas in, Fubar into the pits. So Stormfly on lap 8. He said that it was 7 laps on these tyres. He's managed to do 8, which is not too shabby. Of course, now he's 17.8 seconds clear of Wiggy. Wiggy, though, I think Wiggy's going to hang us out till about lap 9. If he can do that, then we could be in for a really interesting shootout towards the end. Of course, both him and Stormfly do need to use those medium compound tyres at some stage to stop for them. But it's interesting actually because we've got Wiggy and Newton both in that BMW. So be good to see how they perform because they're both on the softs. Although it looks like Newton has been a little bit more aggressive with the fuel. Although if you bear in mind that Newton's had to come from the back of the pack to get up to third, that is a performance and a half, isn't it? And listen, Kenneth Newton, listen, I'm talking to you. You've been racing with us for a while now, in and out, in and out. Stop dipping your fucking toes in and get involved in one of these tournaments, man. Get signed in every week, get turned up, and get involved in some of these tournaments and see how it rocks, see how it works out then. Or alternatively, how about ditching Nola Racing and come and join in Black Flag permanently? How about that? There's the offer. I'll put it out there. If anyone from Nola Racing is watching, sorry man, sorry, I'm not trying to punch drama. So Stormfly into the pits on lap 8. So pit window's open, so he's in. He is utilising that pit window being open. Wiggy in second, staying out. Newton going in. So one more lap for Wiggy or 2? That's the burning question. I think one more lap. I think he's going to come in at the end of this lap. And he's actually got some really good performance out of this BMW thus far. So really looking forward to seeing what staying out that little bit longer can do for him in terms of longevity on the racetrack. PM10 Racing also able to stay out that little bit longer in the Aston Martin. So here's the question. Here's the ever-burning question. The hunker-burning question. PM10's pace. He was running around 8th position, and Wendigo, who has already pit, is back out in 3rd. So, and Wendigo's actually jumped Stormfly. That's interesting. We'll have a look in a minute. Well, I want to talk about PM10 because 3rd in the championship last time out, behind 1 point behind Stormfly. And you know, we can look across the season, and we can actually pinpoint 1 or 2 instances across the season that not only cost PM10 a shot at the championship, but actually cost him 2nd. And for me, the one that stands out last season is Monza. I don't know if you guys remember, but Kevin, who ultimately became champion, had a wheel failure at Fonza. Had a wheel failure at Monza and was really nowhere and ended up DNF. And PM10 was chasing down, on much better tyres, was chasing down Stormfly in the sort of last few laps, and he was catching him. And then he had that little wobble for Ascari, and that obviously cost him the win there. And that you know, you can look back and you can pinpoint that as being the pinpointed reason why he didn't take 2nd last year. But is this a situation now? He's coming into the pits now, that he's back in that sort of midfield, but his plan is more the long game. So like Wiggy's just done, staying out a little bit longer and making it count further down the line. So we're looking here, they're in the pits. When Digo comes through, he has jumped both Monkey Man Macho and Stormfly in the pits. Now, he hasn't put a lot of fuel on board, so he's going for a very, very short stint here. Is this a problem? Is he planning on going in, then running the mediums for a relatively long stint later on? Does he feel that he can, with a full tank of fuel and medium tyres finish the race after this stint. If that's the case, then this might be a very, very smart strategy from him. Stormflyer came out ahead of Monkey Man Macho. He's filled up that car. He's gone on the medium compound tyres. So he's definitely going for a long middle stint. Monkey Man Macho making a move round the outside, and through he goes. Macho Man is up into second position. Very, very good racing from him. But that's Stormfly now in third. But Monkey Man Macho has gone for soft tyres. So his ploy is to, well, I suppose he's used the mediums already, so he can use whatever fucking tyres he likes. So he's going to have to pit sooner, but he could again come out on softs. Be interested to see where they kind of come out. So Wiggy comes out in fourth. He's gone for the mediums, but he's not gone for a lot of fuel. So he doesn't want to do a longer stint on these medium tyres. He wants to get rid of them, go back on the softs, and run a longer stint on the soft compounds. Paz Kozas is on the soft compound tyres now, 6.5 seconds back in fifth position. Arminis running in sixth. He's 4.3 back at the moment, and 3.9 clear of this man here, Fubar Fernandez. He has got Newton crawling all over him like a very, very awful smell. Newton, whose entry into this race caused all sorts of technical problems, which is why he owes me £100 for my check. He's gone for the soft compound tyre as well. He still needs to run a second compound at some stage in this race. PM10 Racing, he's back out on the softs again. So he's run the medium compound tyres. He can run those softs as much as he wants. Whether he wants to do softs on the medium, entirely down to him. Ricardus in 10th place is 3.6 behind PM10, but has Avalon in that 911, giving him all sorts of trouble behind. Ricardus on the medium tyres, and Avalon behind him. There he is. He is running the soft compounds again. So, sorry, he's running the soft compounds. I'm sure he's already run the mediums. So he's now looking to put some pace in and give some trouble to Ricardus if he can. He'll want to get that 911 into that top 10 as quickly. Oh, and a little slidey slide, and what do we say when that happens?
You can't park that there, mate.
No, you can't. Get it back on the track, my friend. Get it back on the track. 25 seconds back. The welcome return of Yellow Sausages. Some of you may or may not know he's been away for some time after having a bit of an accident in last summer, and things did not improve after operations and stuff. It's been a long road to recovery, but he is there or thereabouts. And finally has a date for some more necessary operations to get himself fixed, and can't wait to have him back with us on a permanent basis. 2.1 seconds behind is Hardwire. I just want to point out as well, right, that Chris has got a dodgy leg. Right, he's been away for ages. He's been doing a little bit, but he's been away for ages, and he's fucking 10 seconds a lap quicker than I was when I did this earlier in a Lamborghini. So, do you know what, Chris? Fuck you, man. Fuck you and your funky leg. Hardwire he's looking pretty racy, actually, behind Yellow Sausage at the minute. He's actually done a 149.9. I don't know why I find that surprising. He's not a slouch by any stretch of the imagination. But last lap was a turn. Well, wasn't a great lap from the turn one, but 152 at that time out. So Yellow Sausage is 153.888. Wendigo still leads this race by some way as well. 7 seconds he leads from Monkey Man Macho. Now he went for a very, very little splash of fuel. What we're seeing here is we're seeing, and I don't know we're seeing a very different kind of splatting of strategy. So we've had those that started on the medium tyres, got them, people like Armitage, got them out of the way very early stop, got them out of the way, onto the soft compound tyres, and then start working the strategy from there. Then you've got drivers like Wendigo, like Stormfly, who went out early on the softs. Then their kind of strategy diverges. So Wendigo in the pits, very quickly in, very quickly out. Back on soft tyres, only a little splash of fuel, get out and literally go burn it. And he has put in some very, very solid laps, you can see there. He's done his fastest lap there, 47.5, which he's just done. But he's in those mid to high 47s very consistently pretty much since he came out. We've got 147 in there. But yeah, mid to high 47s, low 48s. Very consistent. And I imagine he'll do that for another, probably this and one more lap after this. Monkey Man Macho, he started on the medium tyres and was prepared to concede a little bit of track position early on. Now, just put in a 1:47.2, fastest lap of the race. He is low to mid 47s on those soft compound tyres. He put in a bit more fuel, but did get ahead. Quite importantly, got ahead of Stormfly. He didn't put in as much fuel as Stormfly, admittedly. And here's the other thing. Stormfly went out early doors on those soft compound tyres. Built a huge gap, 7 seconds up the road he was. Came into the pits, now going for that kind of mid-race, slower kind of pace. And so if we look at his fastest lap on the soft compound tyres was a 1:47.3. He's now about a second and a half a lap slower. Now that's quite interesting because when Monkey was on the medium tyre, he was only a second a lap slower than Stormfly was on the softs. So does that mean then that the representative pace for Monkey Man is a little bit quicker on the soft? Well, the fact he's got fastest lap would suggest that's the case. So this means, look, does Stormfly sort of look at this and he's got to analyse this now. So does he look at it and think, okay, clearly this guy's got some pace today. Do I need to be worried? Now he will know what his representative pace is over the course of the 60 minutes. And we're already 25 minutes into this race. So we're looking at about 32, 33 laps, I think, there or thereabouts for this 1 hour race. But so he's got to weigh up now. Is it worth staying for a long period on the medium compound tyre because of the amount of time he's losing? Is the strategy still worth it? Now, that's the question. Is the juice worth the squeeze? So do I stick with my strategy, even though at the moment it's not really working out for me? I'm 13 seconds off the lead. Obviously, he won't know what Wendigo's doing in terms of fuel. Wendigo, or he probably does now because he's fucking listening. But he won't have gone into this knowing what these guys' strategies are. So Wendigo's out in front. He's on a very, very different strategy. Still needs to run the medium tyres, of course. That's a big important factor to mention for Wendigo, is that he still has to run the medium tyres. And he does tend to have this tendency, Wendigo, of utilising his pace, all of his pace early on. So using those soft compound tyres and the low fuel and the kind of hard pushing early on in the race. And then leaves himself with this sort of middle part of the race where, so if you're going to sacrifice, if you're a front runner and you're going to be sacrificing pace for weaker tyres or more fuel, that kind of thing, the best time for you to be doing that, and you know, we say it now, Wendigo into the pits, the best time to do that is in this kind of middle part of the race or early part of the race. You want to put yourself in a position where you are the fastest you can be and getting faster towards the end of the race. So you want to be on soft tyres with loads of grip. You want to be in a car where the fuel level's going down and it's getting lighter, more agile, faster through the corners. That's what you want. And it just seems the last couple of races, despite Wendigo's phenomenal pace, he's kind of opted for that kind of strategy where he's tried to build a big lead on the subcompound tyres and then kind of come a cropper with the mediums. Now, it'd be interesting to see if he's changed that tack. And he hasn't. He's come out again on the soft compound tyres with a very small splattering of fuel. Now, he's out in 6th. Let's have a run through the field actually, because Monkey Man Macho, 6.5 seconds clear. There are other drivers out there who should probably spend some time looking at them. Stormfly in 2nd. Paz Kozas, we haven't talked much about Paz Kozas. He's running very, very comfortably. Look at the consistency in those laps. Since his pit stop, which he did at the end of lap 7, he's done 48.4, 48.3, 48.5. Actually, last lap 14 was his slowest lap with a 48.8 on lap 13. But there's nothing more than half a second difference in those laps. A nice and consistent pace, keeping him quite comfortably at the moment in 3rd. Wiggy though, Wiggy's pace since he's got on the medium tyres has dropped off a little bit, but he can take this car quite deep into each stop. So he's been quite sparing with the fuel, which gives him more track time. The thing is, it's a 2-stopper all day long. So how much benefit is there? Other than, I suppose the one big benefit to saving fuel is you have less time in the pits putting more in. That's the main benefit to it. But if you're sacrificing a touch of pace to save a bit of fuel, at what point does it become counterproductive to do that? Could your pace be half a second, 7 seconds faster, and it's worth sacrificing the extra second or 2 in the pits for that little bit more fuel? Always something worth considering. Not by me, I just drive really fast and crash. There's Arminis running very well. Told you, this early pit stop strategy worked phenomenally well for him in the GR4 on Monday, and absolutely finished above expectations. And this time round, it's working again for him. He's up into the top 5 and looking relatively comfortable at the moment. Wendigo, who's already pit twice, is back in 6th place. And actually, if we have a look here, you can see fuel-wise, I mean, tyres, yeah, they're going to be different, but fuel-wise, there's not a huge amount of difference between Wendigo and Arminis. And Arminis has only been in once. So, this strategy not working for Wendigo because he's behind the guy that pit-wise, they've got the same amount of fuel on board. So, their pit stop is going to be at the same time. But Wendigo's had one stop more, and not, instead of being running in the top 3, he's running in 6th place. But we don't know what he's got planned for the second half of this race, and that's the thing. It could be all part of a master plan. Master plan or disaster plan for PM10 Racing. Slotted back into 7th. He's now got Newton for company in the BMW. Newton opted for a big full tank of fuel and the racing soft tyres. Now, the tyres will go off before the fuel does, unless he's some kind of super tyre saving master. But what will happen here is that he will have less time refueling in his next stop. So it could be that he is out of sync a little bit. It's always difficult at this stage of the race because you've got such different strategies to see really where people realistically are. Fubar, he's just put in his fastest lap of the race in that Lamborghini, which is a much better car than I think people give credit for. 48.8 for him on that lap 16. He's 7 seconds behind Newton, but a clear 14 seconds ahead of Ricardus, running in 10th position. Yellow Sausages in 11th. He's 28 seconds back. Certainly possible. He's running on those mediums though, so could be putting Ricardus. Ricardus also on mediums. I was going to say could be putting Ricardus under pressure. Is actually lapping faster than Ricardus at the moment. Not much. Hardwire in 12th. Avalon's back in 13th, but he has just done his second pit stop. So he's now opting for a very, very long second or third stint in this race here. Likelihood is he will probably have to pit again for tyres. But we know just, I mean, if we look, his pace actually is better than Hardwire. It's better than Yellow Sausages. Better, more consistent than Richard. Better, well, kind of on par with Fubar. At the moment, Fubar's looking pretty darn race actually, with high 48s since his last pit stop. Since his last, that 202, that wasn't a pit stop, that was a mistake. Newton, 48, 49s. Not too dissimilar, to be fair. Not too dissimilar. So, Monkey Man Macho, of course, because Wendigo went into the pits, he now assumes the lead of this race. He's on, of course, soft compound tyre, which he is quite welcome to do, having already used those mediums. Stormfly not allowing that gap to get too big, though. It is currently 8.7 seconds, but Stormfly is currently on his stint on the mediums. The question is obviously how much longer can he stay out than Monkey Man Macho ahead of him? Firstly, and when he stays out, how much of a lead can he gather before he himself has to come in for his final stop? And obviously, as well, the other question is whether Monkey Man Macho fuels to the end of the race when he does come in. Pit window is going to start opening soon for a few of these soft tyre runners. I think probably Paz Kozas, very likely he's going to be hanging on for another, I think lap 21, 22 is when we're going to start to see these cars piling in to the pit. Certainly not the those runners there, but people like Fubar, lap 19, lap 20, Wendigo. He's on a different strategy, but fuel-wise, he's just not putting a lot of fuel in. He's about to make a really good move, though, on PM10, but the car is so much lighter. So PM10 is dropping again into 7th. Wendigo comes through, and that's a three-way battle at the moment for 5th place. Newton in 5th, Wendigo in 6th, PM10 Racing running in 7th, and PM10 Racing being dropped a little bit by these two. And Wendigo up the inside on Newton in the BMW, Wendigo in the Lamborghini, not Diablo. And it's not Countach either. It is it's not the Aventador. It's the fuck is it? Huracan. That was it. I knew it'd be done with a because I was like, what car is it? Boom, boom. Here we thank you very, very much. Right, what are we? 35 minutes into this race. This is the Black Flag GR3 Season 3, round number 1 at Grand Valley in US of A, motherfucker. I'm not going to do that. No, I am. I'm going to do it. While we're in the middle of the race, I'm going to use this platform to say something that might be controversial. Actually, no, I'm not. I do have something to say, which I'm going to say, but I'm going to say it during GT Champions weekend because it concerns the USA, and I think there should be a bigger American audience for it. We'll wait. It's something that's been playing on my mind for a few days. Anyway, moving on. Ignore I just said anything at all. Monkey Man Macho leads the way. He is 8.4 clear of Stormfly as Arminis Newton both diving into the pits. It's 25 minutes left, which is going to be about 13, 14, 15. I'm going to go 16 minutes, so 36 laps. I'm going to go for these front runners. 8.5 Stormfly, Paz Kozas comfortably in 3rd, 8 seconds back, but 20 seconds ahead of Wendigo, who's been on a really, really odd strategy today. Can't really wrap my head around what the small chunks of time in the pits. It's not been saving him enough time to justify going in that often. It just hasn't, because he's he's still up there in that top 4, but he would be well in that top 3 if he was staying out longer. You lose a bit of time in the pits, but you gain that back because you're on the track for longer. And Wazza returns, and he's only an hour and 10 minutes late. To be fair, we did start incredibly late, unusually. PM10 Racing back up into 5th. So Monkey Man Macho in. Interestingly, Stormfly follows him in. Now, he's going to be in the pits less because he needs less fuel. Very, very important. And it seems to... it's something that actually highlighted me very, very clearly on when we did GTFusion round 1, because it was such a high fuel consumption that you noticed that the cars that did well were those that, when it was a 2-stop race, that fueled extra in the first stop. So those that came with a little bit less and then had to put more in the second stop really lucked out towards the end of the race. And we're finding that it seems that since the update, that seems to be the thing, is that you are much better off running with a heavier car early on in the race, and going into the pits with fuel to spare, which allows you to spend less time in the pits. Now, Monkey Man Macho did come out ahead. Did he fuel to the end of the race? That's the question. I think it's going to be touch and go. Stormfly's fueled to the maximum. Now, that concerns me, and I'll tell you why. If Monkey Man Macho, we're not, Monkey Man Macho is not, it's not his first rodeo. He's doing very, very well in Division 2 in GT Champions at the moment. He's there or thereabouts with the front runners, certainly a man to watch. So knows what he's doing, especially in terms of tyre and fuel management. He has deemed that from that point, and I don't think that there's any question that these guys are planning on going to the end after this stop. I think it's about that time when they've made that possible. We see Paz Kozas jumping into the pits now as well. We'll see how much fuel he puts on board. That'll be interesting, because when Digo, he's going to come around, he's going to jump into the pits. This will be hopefully his final stop. He's gone for a bit of a GMAC approach to pit stopping lately. So listen, Gary, can you stop advising drivers to pit as much as you do, because it's not good for lap times. And this is something I thought I would say today, certainly, is PM10 leads this race. One more lap for him, of course. He does have to pit still. He's got Monkey Man Macho crawling all over him. Now, here's the thing. This is where PM10 can really have a say in the championship. He can help the guy that beat him by 1 point to second place last season catch Monkey Man Macho just by holding him up a little bit, not letting him through. We know that he's going to dive in the pits at the end of this lap, but if he can slow Monkey Man Macho down just for these few corners, it really then plays into the hands of Stormfly. Paz Kozas got out ahead of him. He's gone for less fuel as well. Has Stormfly made a mistake and overfueled his car? Or is his car that awful on fuel that extra time in the pits is worthwhile to allow him to push? Now, his first target, of course, is Paz Kozas just ahead of him. He's got to get that job done, and he's got to get it done quickly. If the longer he gets held up, the more Monkey Man Macho is going to be able to build himself a nice, comfortable gap out front. At the moment, Monkey Man Macho, of course, we can see there, is held up behind PM10 Racing. But that won't be for long, because PM10 Racing is going to peel off to the right-hand side any minute now and into the pits. So Stormfly, this is the point at which he needs to make that move. If he can't get it done and he gets held up by Paz Kozas, he could potentially be staring at throwing his pole position away and becoming the bridesmaid rather than the bride. So PM10 Racing and Monkey Man Macho, off he goes into the lead. Paz Kozas currently second. He's got Stormfly chasing him down, and a long run down to turn 1. Stormfly pulls out of the slipstream. They're side by side as they cross the line. Stormfly gets that move done in the Alpha. How long can he keep it going? Remember, his car is heavier, and Paz Kozas is no slouch in that 911. So Paz Kozas tucked in behind it. Very, very similar looking cars. Lights a little bit different, but the shape of the front is not dissimilar. If you look there, it's easy to tell them apart. One's an Alpha, so break down at some stage. The other is a Porsche, so everyone will think you're a big penis because you drive. I'm only joking, that's not true. Paz Kozas retakes second. This battle is going to be hurting both of them if they want to win this race, because while they battle, Monkey Man Macho, Monkey Man, could just open up his legs and pull that gap out in front. But he can also look after his tyres. He can look after his fuel. He doesn't have to worry because the gap is nice and big. And it's not closing. And the longer this race goes on, the harder this chase down becomes. And at the moment, these two battling out. Let's go down the field, shall we? There's Wendigo. And again, he's gone for very little fuel. He's going to have to stop again. He needs to explain the strategy. I don't get the strategy, man. He needs to explain this crazy strategy to me. He's going to have... It's very likely that not only has he cost himself a top 3 today, he might well be costing himself a top 5 or top 6. Because there's Knudsen. Knudsen's now on those medium compound tyres. I think he can make it to the end of the race, you know. I think he can. Open his legs and the gap gets bigger. Absolutely. Why do you think I've got 5 children for? I've got 6, but one was a foster daughter. I had no part in that one. Well, I don't think so. Arminis, he could potentially, when Wendigo goes in, get himself into the top 5. Tell you what, someone needs to watch his strategy, because in the GR4 he did it, and he just did it again today in the GR3. Really, really early stop. Much earlier than anybody else on the medium tyres. And the undercut is strong. Very, very strong. Because he's gained him a good 3 or 4 places that he ordinarily probably wouldn't have got. Really, really good from him. And what we actually saw was I think he got himself up to the 3rd or 4th in the GR4. But even by losing a couple of positions by the faster guys behind him, he still finished higher than expectations. So strategy plays a big part in Arminis' performances. And you can see that as well in GT Champions boys. I'm not singing about everybody's performing in GT Champions. And actually a lot of these races today, you'll see them performing this weekend in GT Champions. Monkey Man Macho, of course, in Division 2, alongside, I think, Luton's Division 1. I think Luton's Division 1 or 2. We've got Arminis, obviously, he's competing there as well, Division 4, if I remember rightly. Wiggy's not, PM10 Races not, of course. Fubar's not, Ricardo's is not, Avalon's not, Young's just not. Hardwire is, and he's been promoted actually from Division 6 to Division 5 because he's absolutely been demolishing Division 6. And hopefully some of these guys will get moved even further up, and I can broadcast them in Division 2 and 3. Right, there's your leader, and the gap is opened up to 9.1 seconds. Philip was funny. He opened up his legs, and the gap got bigger. Stormfly has got his past Pascozas, and is starting now just to pull away. He's given himself a lot of work to do. Fastest lap thus far has been with Monkey Man Macho. It's been a 1:47.2. That was some time ago. The pace has changed, it's settled. Stormfly with low 48s, low to mid 48s, I think is sort of standard pace at the moment. He needs to increase that on those soft tyres. It needs to be up, sort of down in 47s. Really needs to be down in 47s. Monkey Man Macho, his pace is 49s at the moment, but he can afford to do that because the gap is 8 seconds. He can just back off the pace a little bit, knowing that the fuel is on the side of. Let's not pretend that he's going to be sucking fumes when it gets to the end of this race. But he can at the moment, with the gap being so big at 7.98 seconds, he can just back off a little bit. He can use that lift and coast into the corners. He can scrub off that speed and short shift through the gears. All those little things that save you those little drops of fuel. Even if he's doing something like fuel mapping as well, alongside fuel mapping, and he can manage that gap. And when the gap gets to an area he's not too happy with, he can up that pace again because he knows he's going to have the fuel to do it as long as he manages it. Right, looking at the back there is Hardwire, who's running 16 seconds back in 13th position, just being lapped there by the race leaders. Yellow Sausages, good performance from him, bearing in mind that he hasn't been racing much. He's doing his consistency's not been his friend lately, but he has been doing 51s 51 mid, 51 highs on a semi-regular basis. He's only 14 seconds behind Avalon, who's found it difficult to get back into his usual rhythm. You know, in the GR3, Patrick is always one that is kind of there or thereabouts. We expect to see him kind of finishing relatively strongly in the kind of top end. But since his holidays, just a little bit off the pace. But I wouldn't be too concerned. I think by race 2 or race 3, we're going to see him back in amongst the points. Ricardus ranking 10th. He's 27 seconds back from Fubar, 15 ahead of Avalon right now. Could we see a possible resurgence from Avalon? Oh, he certainly needs to improve his consistency. Fubar, 5.6 seconds behind PM10 Racing. Should have enough to get to the end. Not really concerned with that. Same as PM10 Racing. He should have enough to do there. He's 7 behind Wiggy, who was at one stage rocking in that top 5. And now he's rocking in the free world. 1.4 behind Arminis. Can he close that gap? He's just done his fastest lap of the race with a 1:48.8. That is a 1.5 seconds off the fastest lap today. There is Arminis. He's going to run to the end as well on those softs. He's lapping in the low 49s. So with Star Group bearing down on him. Although Arminis at the moment is sticking with Knudsen. Or Knudsen is more popularly known. But Knudsen's got to finish his race on the medium tyres. That could be costing him some time. He seems to be mid 49s on those mediums. But can he hold these guys off? That's the thing. They're going to be coming and coming fast. Why are you coming fast? Because I can.
I crashed. You crashed? How are you coming fast?
Yes, how are you coming fast? I'm coming fast because I used a loud pedal.
Joni loves Chachi.
That's for you too, Jake, because Joni does love Chachi. Wendigo. He's going to have to go to pits again. I think he's going to be outside the top 6. I really do. I don't understand his strategy. Who was that behind? Someone had a little wobble and he's facing the wrong way. And it's hard wire. And what do we say to that? We say,
You can't park that there, mate. You can't park that there, mate.
yeah, you got it. Right, he's back on the track. He's now 44 seconds back. Right, so let's have a look back at this top 3. So there's Paz Kozas. Now Stormfly has got away from him. As Paz Kozas puts in a 47.6, his fastest lap of the race thus far in that 9:11. 10 minutes remain. So with the way the pace is, I said 36 laps. I think we could be stretching to maybe 38, you know. These guys have really, really shown a phenomenal pace today. If you consider they're significantly faster. I mean, look, I know you say, yeah, it's the GT3 cars though. Of course they're faster than the GT4s. I fucking know that, you bunch of bellends. But in terms of relative pace, bearing in mind the cars, I think they're significantly faster today than they were on Monday. That's what I meant in comparison. So when Digo in the pits, so where's Knudsen? Here comes Knudsen, there comes Arminis, there comes Stargroup, and they're all vying for what is now 4th place. When Digo outside that top 6 at the moment. Here comes Fubar. Does Fubar wangle his way past? He's at speed. Digo's going to be coming out the pits now. Are they going to be side by side? Or is, well, Wendigo, that's a massive loss because PM10's ahead. Ricardus just behind him. That's a big loss for Wendigo. Don't understand that strategy. Should have gone longer in some of those stops. It's cost him so much time. Monkey Man Macho, the gap is down to 4.3 seconds. Well, it was 8 seconds when there was 20 minutes to go. There's 8 minutes to go, and it's still nearly 4.3 seconds for Stormfly to make up. It's going to be a big uphill, massive uphill task. So big, it's like the uphill at Mount Panorama. And talking about Panorama, coming up in a few weeks' time, we've got 2 teams in the 12 hours at Bathurst, which is going to be awesome. We're going to be sorting out the teams this week. One team will be in the Mercedes AMG, and the other team will be in another car. I want to say Aston Martin, but I don't think it is. I can't remember. They're in a different car. Anyway, but we're going to sort out the teams and shizzle and so on and so forth. Right, 3.6 seconds is the lead that Marco Macho Man has over Stormfly. Can he catch him? Paz Kozas 3 seconds back. Good performance from Paz Kozas. Should be very happy with that. And Arminis, check him out. He's up into 4th. That early strategy, I called it on Monday of how good a strategy it was, and he's done it again today, and absolutely turned things on its head. And I don't mean this in any way. BMW, thank you, Jay. I knew it was a car that I'd seen here today. It's the BMW, which is actually performing very well in the hands of Knudsen and Wiggy. I don't mean, and I'll try him in his nose, I don't mean this in any derogatory way. Would he ordinarily finish 4th on pace? It's a touch and go, considering the field. That strategy was absolute spot on brilliance, because it's changed the shape of his race. He has been prepared to sacrifice huge track position early on for massive gains later in the race, and it's made such a difference. So he's made a couple of his own key overtakes, but the most overtaking he did was when people were in the pits and he was just disappearing off on the road. So we don't do driver of the day. If we did, he would be mine. Knudsen is on those medium tyres and just going to struggle to stick with Arminis. The thing is, he's got Wiggy behind him. They're in the same car, so performance-wise, there's nothing between them. So it's all going to all be about tyres and driver. And it's 1.1 seconds, and the gap is closing. At one stage, these two were right on top of each other. Wiggy needs those tyres to hold out for 6 more minutes. So actually, I think I overestimated with 30 on. I think 30. Just go 33 laps. I think I wasn't far off 32 in the first place. So there is your leader, Monkey Man Macho, 3.6 seconds, holding fast as well at 33.4 seconds. Stormfly running in second position, and there he is. Paz Kozas is closing the gap a little bit, but he overfueled, and that's what's cost him. Stormfly is overfueled on this car, which is really unusual for him. He has done the fastest lap race. He's done a 47.0. Is there a sub 47 in this car? Is there a qualifying time for him in this car with the last couple of laps remaining? It's still on. It's still on. But we can look at fuel now. We're close enough to the end. I don't think the Monkey Man. I think he's had the opportunity to look after his fuel, which has allowed him to have enough to get to the end of the race without any problems. He's going to be on fumes at the end, but he's going to have enough to get there. Stormfly is going to have enough to give to other people. He's going to have. He basically put on more than he needed. I can see why he did what he did. I can see why he overfueled, because he knew he'd have to push, and he didn't want to have to concern himself with thinking about saving any. He just wanted to be able to give it full beans. The problem is, full beans or not, those last 2 laps are a second a lap slower than the quickest lap he's done. And if he wants to close 2 seconds before the end of this race, he needs to be a second a lap faster. It's that simple. And right now, he's just not. He's close to it. Well, he was on the last lap, but no cigar. Arminis outside that top 3 is 26 seconds behind his compatriot Paz Kozas, who doesn't have enough fuel again. He'll be on fumes towards the end. Arminis is ahead of Knudsen. He's called Knudsen because he is somebody's son, and he likes to drive completely naked. That's the end of the nude, and that is actually true. It's a true story. That's why you never see his face on camera, because he's butt naked driving. He likes the way his balls feel when he vibrates. allegedly. Anyway, I've gone from asking him to join the team to making him look like a creep. Congratulations, Pirates. There is Wiggy's closing that gap on Newton, and with just a couple of laps remaining, this battle is still on here. Shall we quickly have a look at everybody else before we get right to the end? So I have to do this manually. So Hardwire is way back. It's 3 minutes off the leaders. Yellow Sausage is in 12th, just being lapped now by Stormfly. 6 seconds up the road is Avalon. Can he catch him? Can he catch him? Because that gap was a lot bigger. Ricardo's 20.5 in 10th. Wendigo, poor strategy. Great pace, awful strategy today. God awful. I'm very disappointed in you, my friend. You're normally better than that. Don't know what you were thinking. But he's putting a little bit of a fighter on PM10 now in 8th place. Fubar, 1.7. It could be a battle there potentially between them three for 7th. Wiggy right now in behind Newton. He's as close as he can get without actually being inside him. You can see here the battle raging on. He's closing. Within half a second. There's going to be this lap. There's going to be one more after this lap. Potentially. You know what? It's actually going to be close. It's going to be close. I think they might get one more lap. Look, we know Monkey Man, Macho, Stormfly, they're going to get another lap. Pecozas is going to get another lap. Harmon's going to get another lap. To these two, I think it's going to be a close run thing. In terms of fuel, do they have enough for another lap? Well, it certainly looks like they do. Can they do it and push? So here comes Wiggy now. He's much closer. Just through here, then we hit the bridge. This is where he'll start to pick up a bit of slipstream, a bit of opportunity just to pull in close. He's a good exit. Oh, he's lost the back end! The back end of that BMW steps out on him. Steps out like a cheating husband at a bukkake party. And that charge for 5th is over. Commentator's curse strikes again. It's not going to be long before somebody tells me to not be on their car when they're chasing someone down on the last couple of laps. Let's see if we can make Stormfly fuck up now. So here we go. He is chasing down Monkey Man Macho. They are on the. Well, it's done. It's the last lap is done. So this is it. Arminis comes in 4th. Newton home in 5th. Stargate will come home in 6th. They didn't get that additional lap we thought that they would. And Stargate couldn't catch Newton. Would he have caught him? Maybe not. And look at that. Monkey Man Macho is just up ahead. Has he run out of fuel? Monkey Man Macho. They are. Oh, was that? What went on there with that Ferrari? Who is in that Ferrari? That's Hardwire. And it looked to me like he gave Monkey Man Macho a little shove on the side. Now listen, I'm not one for backmarkers just blindly getting out of the way. But these two are fighting on the last lap for the win here. And Hardwire just gave Monkey Man Macho a little nudge in the side when he's fighting back with Stormfly. I've got to say that wasn't very sporting. Obviously, if it needs to be, wants to be dealt with, it needs to be submitted as a stewarding ticket. But Stormfly does win this race. He did catch him. Would Monkey Man Macho have got back? We don't know. Chris comes home in 3rd. No, he doesn't really. He comes home in 11th place. Avalon 12th. Hardwire in last place. But there's your winner. Stormfly VR46. Just edging out Monkey Man Macho there. But that definitely needs to be looked at. So there's your final results. Fastest lap going to, of course, to Stormfly. So Stormfly in the 4C wins the race from Monkey Man Macho in the F-Type. Paz Kozas with a good solid 3rd place for him in the 911 ahead of Arminis 1 lap back in the 650S. Newton comes home in 5th. in the M6 with Wiggy just behind him. Wiggy was making that charge and probably would have had a bit of a battle going on had he not lost the back end of that BMW in the final stages of that last lap. Fubar in the Huracan and Wendigo also in the Huracan in 7th and 8th. Wendigo strategies today, I don't know what he was thinking. To be inside his head in some of those pit strategies. PM10 Racing, bad day at the office for him in that V12. If he cannot get that Aston Martin singing, this is going to be a long season for him. Ricardus in the GTR, home in rounding out that top 10. Yellow Sausages, welcome back, my friend, in the GR Supra in 11th. Avalon finishes in 12th in the 911. And in the 458 Italia Hardwire, who I think might be on the receiving end of a penalty that was very dodgy. We will check the replay, of course. There we go, done and dusted. I'm going to save that replay because I have a feeling some people are going to want to have a look at that. Right, there we go. So we're done for another GR3 is finished. Finito. Done and dusted and finished. There we go. That was pretty good, wasn't it? We've got 9 more like this for GR4 and for GR3. And I'll tell you where we are next week. Do you want to know? I want to know where we are next week. We're at Sardenga. Sardenga Road Track A in reverse next week. And yeah, looking forward to that. That's going to be an interesting race. Hotting up, but Stormflyer, first blood to him, 25 juicy points. And yes, how about that? So, race number 1 done. We're back tomorrow with more Smoking Pirelli's action and the return of Gauntlet. Absolutely brilliant. I'm looking forward to that all week. It's going to be awesome. So yes, we've got Smoking Pirelli's tomorrow from Canada. Gauntlet straight after that. Then this weekend is the return of the GT Champions World Cup and the WSR Porsche Super Cup. But all left is for me to say thank you very much for joining me. I've been Adam Pirate. This has been Black Flag Racing TV with the Black Flag Racing team and the Open GR3. It's been emotional.
Decision sets in. One love will churn your skin.